Hello, I'm Dana. I have a few more things I'm going to be sharing about my son Evan. And one thing is first, Evan as a baby, Evan as a young man. You can see he's in his wheelchair, and we're having a picnic with friends, and I could just fill up his plate and he would eat with his hands. He could do that on his own. Alrighty. I want to show you something I wrote. It was October 2002, 20 years ago. So I had a lot of time at home with Evan during those days because something, like I said, when he turned 16, something in his body wasn't going right, and he was having a very difficult time trying to go to public school, even with a one-on-one aid. So I stayed home with him. I took a year off of work to try to figure out and work through Evan what was going on. We ended up moving to Edmonton, but in the meantime, I had a lot of days at home with him, and I wrote and wrote. So I'm going to show you. I'm going to share with you. I thought I never had this kind of information when I was starting out in, I call the special needs world. I'm not politically correct because I went through most of that in the 80s and 90s. So please forgive me, but you'll know what I mean. Okay, this one here. What does it feel like to learn that your child has a mental or physical disability that will affect them profoundly for the rest of their lives? Shock. I believe your mind momentarily goes on hold while you are forced to absorb this information in. You cannot run away from it or get out of it. It feels completely unfair and unjustified. You fear for your child's quality of life and future as well as your own. And those are real feelings. It's about the unknown, right? There is best case scenario, your child may be helped with their therapies. There's the worst case scenario, your child may have a disease, and that's why the disability, and they may decline. There's just so much to think about. Suddenly, your life is bombarded by appointments, visiting home therapists, support workers, seemingly endless recommendations, and do's and don'ts from everywhere. Always remember, your child is a thriving being, first and foremost, in the exact same way as any other child. Clinical settings can seem intimidating, especially if the result on that given day will mean your child qualifies for an educational or therapeutic service. Now, children don't perform per se just because they're in a clinical setting, right? The child has nothing to prove to anyone. The child just does, right? It's interesting. I was coached by one of Evan's preschools one time. They said, Dana, to be sure to get these services, you have to make it seem like the very worst day is happening every day. And it's unfortunate, but that is how it works. Okay, I want to say something important. Without hesitation, know that you know your child better than anyone. I don't care if it's specialists in the field. I don't care if it's someone who's raised a child similar. there's still going to be great individual traits happening, right? As painstakingly drawn out as it may seem, you then somehow find the strength to seek out second or third opinions to ensure that your child receives the maximum they are entitled to. Sadly, that does not happen automatically. No, and living here in Abbotsford, second and third opinions may mean even spending a day or longer in Vancouver with specialists. Heart to heart, mom to mom. Be absolutely aware that you will have days that feel like giving up, involving heart, broken crying, and anger, where you feel like if you began to scream, you wouldn't be able to stop. Days like this let us know we cannot forget our own self. Something as simple as a chocolate truffle indulgence is vital on these days. The realization that any self-nurturance must become an integral part of every day, even if it's 30 seconds. If you ever feel that your only existence is for this child's needs, please know this is the time you must reach out for help. You want to be able to love and enjoy your child above anything else going on. And these overwhelming feelings actually are there to let us know we're headed towards burnout and total exhaustion. So when I say 30 seconds, it's reading a quick page of a book, it's jotting down, it's writing. That all the writing that I did that I am going to be sharing over the next couple of months is what helped keep my sanity. And here we go. Never forget the dreams you held for your child as you wondered what they might be like while still inside the womb. That same soul is definitely inside that body and mind. Perhaps not possessing the ability to show it in ways that you might expect, you have been entrusted with the rare privilege of serving part of your life to reinvent ways to help their spirit shine through. As the mother of a child, as parents of a child or children with such impacting uniqueness, you have been blessed with the opportunity to learn and absorb this life experience surpassingly beyond all which most take for granted. That feels rich. And there are a couple of things here to go along with everything I experienced and how I came to those words. So, there's Evan. 1985. Just looks like a regular happy baby. And here as well. Now, Evan kept his legs apart. He always kept his hand, and usually the one was, so we literally had to teach him, and that was through physiotherapy, occupational therapy. His brain affected his muscles that a normal baby will grab and reach, right? Well, normal, sorry. A typical child. And with Evan, he did none of those things. He had to be taught how to move. I remember the visiting therapist for babies, we have to teach him there's a midline, and we're going to teach him when you hold a toy in the middle, then right, and we gently guide his hands, and eventually he learned that. That was one of the first things. And there he is He's holding his own head. And yeah, lots and lots of physiotherapies with lots of equipment. Even, this is a standing frame. You know, a standing frame is, Evan never got to use his legs. So the standing frame is about weight bearing. Because if you don't use muscles at all, they just shrivel up, right? I haven't seen that, but I've read about it. Taking the bus. In Edmonton, we even went out in the snow. Wheelchair. And I took him to a dance with other young adults. And West Edmonton Mall. Oh, and there you see Evan's sister as well. The mall. Again, the mall. Evan came and did everything with us. And I'm so grateful for him to have me learn and then feel so compelled to pass things on to hopefully help others, and even if not help, give someone a bit of an idea on to do something different or more positive, or how to talk to professionals, how to advocate. It took me a while, but I caught on. As I said, I was coached a little bit by Evan's preschool. All right, so the focus of this video was to be how it feels when you first get the news. I know it's overwhelming. Like I said, it's that fear for your child's future as well as your own. You know what? My best advice is just take it day by day. Day by day. No one knows what the future holds. So above everything and anything, like I said a bit earlier, you want to love and cherish your child above anything else going on. Thank you so much. I'll talk soon.